Say check.
Check, 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 1, 2, check, 1, 2.
That's okay.
Yeah. Like for example, I remember there's a guy called Anurag Rai. I don't know if you've seen him or not. So when he had come for an interview, I made him wear laced shoes, which was so tight to him that he had those blisters in his feet, and and he said, Saurabh, just for an interview, and so sorry for that. Jagdeep had an issue that once I told something to Martin which really blew off Martin's fuse, and he had to hear because of me, and he never wished me when I took over as a GM because he had that vengeance about it. So I can say thank you for that. These are the two stories. Who else I can mention about?
No, I'm talking about apart from these, like, see, you would have worked with Videsh okay? And I'm sure you would have shared some light moments. Surabhi, for example, the marketing team. Let's take it team-wise. Like, see, you can't talk about every single person. But all the people that you work with most closely, those are the ones that you have to talk about, because.
And I have to talk about that.
I want you to talk about maybe their style of working, what you really liked about it. Like, this has to end in a very positive note, right? So whatever you talk about here should empower them and make them feel happy and good. Okay, that's what this video has to be. So apart from Surabhi already being your assistant, I'm sure there are other things she will want to do. I don't know anything. But, if there's anything.
So then it will become thank you.
I know, but this is sorry. I'm sorry I didn't tell you I noticed.
Okay.
It is sort of a thank you, but
yes.
we never talked about it.
Okay, I could never express it. So sorry for not expressing.
Sorry for not
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you're empowering because your speech is about saying sorry for the things that probably hurt them.
Done. I'm getting it.
So,
Cool. Yeah, let's do 1 or 2 takes and see. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to say sorry. Maybe I never got a chance to say that. Maybe I would have missed, or you would have realized that I'd never noticed it. But I want to say sorry to Surabhi. She was one of my communication channels with the outside world, the kind of information that she could get me, and I used to use those information in the interest of the hotel, but I could never say thank you for that. So sorry that I never said thank you for your information, for the insight on certain delicate matters that you used to bring it to my office. So is this yeah. I'm sorry if I didn't tell you, but I noticed. Surabhi has been an instrumental or key team member for my office in getting me the most updated information, updated insights to most of our happening, most of the associates. That's what they are going through. How do they feel about it? What are the things that's making the difference, and what are the things that's not making the difference? I never got a chance to tell her, but I did notice that you were making a difference in my journey at Sheraton Bangalore. Lost a cool on her was actually when she misplaced one of the roses that Peaches gave me. That day I even changed her reporting to me. I got so mad on her. That's it, But probably I never said sorry for that, so I can say that. Or,
And one more thing is, when you talk, when you start, you can give some context as to how you're going about this. And when you talk about the people, starting from the person who's closest to you, closest right next to you, and then you can give each person a tag as to who they are and what, according to you, is their role in this company. Like, how did that matter to you after this? Okay, and then share it. Do you think this needs some
I guess the content is not coming that much, as in it should be a little more lively, but I guess the examples and all that's coming in my mind, is not so. And I have to have a list of all those people who have to talk about it, because you walk in those tight shoes just because I wanted you to be ready for those shoes. Sorry for that. With that kind of a body language and all, I guess that's what exactly you're looking at. You don't want it to be a thing where people can actually, and I can easily use it. They're not going to question me on that, So thanks for telling me about Chandan Sharma and me going back and telling Chandan back that you informed me something. Sorry for that. So this has a fun element. This is a fun element on, you understand that, sorry, Devesh, for making you a Shane member, because I never wanted to be socially engaged with that lot. Right,
You know what happened?
Exactly. So with that word itself, it will give them that giggle about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think you should totally go. If you want to think of stronger examples in school, you can always do this
again and again on that, right? Yeah.
But if you can give me names,
yeah.
then I'll try and capture some
Yeah. So like, for example, Martin is not there, who was the first GM. So I'll say, Martin, sorry, but I guess, all those hair pulling situations that I've always made you get into it, right? Or I need to be specific on that.
You'll have to give me examples.
Yeah, as in.
It's okay to give me really dirty examples also. But as in, it should be dirty in the sense that it's cool now. It's all part of the game.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
go through it. It was tough that time, but not and laugh over it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So we can think of examples of that. I think.
So like, for example, while my long list of sorries continues, I want to express my sorries to a couple of people, and I want to make it a little quick so that I don't miss this opportunity to convey my apologies. Now, I have a whole lot of people from the pre-opening team, right from Martin Boothridge, Vikas, Srijan, and many more. Or probably I can name them. They all thought that I was a wrong choice. So sorry, I'm being a wrong choice, and sorry for continuing here for so long, and sorry for tolerating me for so long as well. Looking forward to you meeting sometime again. Right? That's one. Right? I guess one more apology I extend, and I wanted to express always, was to Anurag when he had come for an interview, and I made him wear those tight shoes, and he could not walk properly. And he till date abuses me when he came for an interview and saw me wearing a loafers and comfortable shoes. Sorry, Anurag, but I'm happy that you are still in the company and you're doing great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want, we can do this whole thing now.
Yeah, we can do that. You can take bits and pieces, and then you can. Yeah.
I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to today.
Yes.
Send me like a WhatsApp.
Sure.
Fine-tune it.
Right. Yeah. It's going well now?
Yeah.
Can I just note down who all I have to mention so that I can forecasting को read किया हुआ है ना?
अच्छा वो
है ना वो आपने नहीं किया हुआ और क्या था? हाँ कर दो और क्या है आपने ये
बाकी तो सब वो रेड नहीं किया
हाँ वो आपने रेड नहीं किया बाकी मैंने कंटेंट के मैं फाइनेंशियल हाँ बस यही है ठीक है आप ये हाँ आप अपनी तरफ से भेज दो हाँ बल्कि आप लिख दो कि आई एम सेंडिंग ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ सौरभ सिंस वी सौरभ इज बिजी विद द AAW प्लीज फाइंड दीज 2 documents हाँ Yeah, that was not the case. So thank you for sorry for tolerating me for so long. Sorry for considering me as a misfit for that team. Yeah, but I'm happy that you all are doing well, and I'm happy that we are still in touch. Yeah, so no thank you, but happy can be a word that I can say replace thank you, right? Anurag, sorry for making you walk in those tight shoes and making you all decked up for that interview, which you finally cleared, and I'm happy to see you still in the system. Sorry for that inconvenience, for that long day of making you walk through that, right? Jaggi, yeah, sorry Jaggi for exposing you to Martin, and you had to hear a mouthful from Martin. I can't forget that you didn't wish me when I took over as a GM, but I guess maybe you didn't get a time to say sorry, but here I am saying sorry to you for making you go through that. Yeah, that's for Jaggi. Who else is there? Anybody else is on your mind in the system? Ganeshan is too serious, as in.
How is your rapport?
Good, as in, like, very pally.
Pardon?
Very pally.
Yeah, he's like
Very
that.
pally. Yeah. So I can say that, Ganeshan, sorry for exposing you to the sorry for exposing you to the high culture and what was the word for culture, as in culturally strong is what? No, not high culture, as in
The high culture. Ragu.
no. So I exposed him to Thailand.
Okay.
So,
Culture shock. I don't know.
no.
Silent type.
So thank you, Ganesh. Sorry, Ganeshan, for exposing you to the rich culture of Thailand. Rich culture. Yeah. So Ganeshan. And I'm happy that you can be a certified guide for the entire Thailand and Kuala Lumpur today without me, right? Yeah. That's done.
Things that people never forget.
Yes. Yeah.
Devesh also you can mention.
Devesh, what do we say about Devesh? Devesh, do you want me to say about covering me up during those long days?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Like you can talk about some really funny things like you think he's too square.
So I can tell them, as in there's one thing which is very synonymous to him, that we actually made him sit between the two hookers, and then he actually got up and said, "What the fuck?" So we always use that. Devesh, sorry if I never told you about those. No, I will not. So what I'll say is it's a keyword that he know, and many other people know that. Sorry, Devesh, sorry for putting you in a situation where you came up with the WTF moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You will know what.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I know this is just a trial.
Yeah.
So.
Surbhi, what do you say, Surbhi? Surbhi, that rose thing is fine? It's only she,
Give
yeah?
an example.
Yeah.
And I was pretty mad at you about it.
Yeah,
It was, I don't know, the worst thing you could have done.
yeah.
But,
But today I'm sorry about it.
yeah.
But today I'm sorry about it.
It's cool with you.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
Of course, yeah.
you say,
Yeah.
sorry for getting so mad.
Yeah. So let's see how this comes up, and then we'll improvise it. Yeah, we have moved to this.
No, you keep going. Like I wanted to prepare on this again. And then
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So let's finish this and see if there is more that comes out of it. Yeah. If there are more names and more stories that comes to my mind, then we can go ahead with it. Yeah. Is that fine? Yeah. Great. So what was the top line? We'll say that key. The main word that you say is an interesting one. What was that? I'm sorry if I no.
sorry, I didn't tell you I noticed.
Yeah. Start. I'm sorry if I didn't tell you that I noticed, but I want to say sorry to Martin, Vikas, Srijan, Devakar, Manish for tolerating me for so long, for having me in their team and realizing that I was a misfit. Sorry for surviving so long in the system. I'm happy you all are doing well. I'm happy that we are still connected, and I'm happy that we are still share the same bond. Yeah. Those are too fast.
Next.
What was the main line? I keep forgetting. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry if I didn't tell you I noticed.
I'm sorry if I didn't tell you. So I repeat this every time?
Not necessarily.
Yeah? We can pick up the best one. Yeah? So, right. Yeah? So I'm sorry if I didn't tell you, but I noticed. I wanted to convey my heart. Okay, I'll do it again. Yeah. So I want to convey my sorry to Anurag Rai. I remember when he had come for an interview, I made him walk in those tight leather shoes which caused him a couple of blisters in his feet. I never got a chance to say sorry about it, but I'm happy that he cleared that interview, and till now he's in the system and he's doing well. I'm happy to see you growing, and I'm happy to see where you are today. Yeah. I want to say sorry to Jaggi. He's been quite a colleague, quite a support to me. And I remember once we had a moment where because of me, he had to hear a mouthful from Martin Woothridge. He got so pissed that when I got my promotion as a general manager, he was the only person who never walked up to me to wish me or to congratulate me for my new promotion. Here I am, not missing the opportunity, but conveying my sorry to him.
I'm sorry if I didn't tell you about this.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't talk to him about this.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if I didn't tell you this.
But I noticed.
Which is cool.
Yeah?
It's all part of the game.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
So, what's next?
Yeah. This is a special sorry, and I guess this sorry is not only dependent on this person, but I want to convey my sorry to Ganeshan for exposing him to the rich culture of Thailand, Kuala Lumpur, and many of those cities where we visited, and initial trips were quite cultural shock for him, but eventually I can bet on it that he can be one of the best tourist guide for any of the destination, even when I'm long gone. Hi Nirupa, good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you?
Bunches of the companies maybe like maybe 10 of us.
Okay,
Just need a table.
done, I'll do that.
There, no?
Yeah, of course, we'll do that. Done. What time?
Welcome to Sheraton Grand Bangalore.
Jaggi's Ganeshan is done. Yeah, the rich culture. Nirupa is coming with 10 people to feast for lunch. Have a long table set and have somebody handle them. Put it on the group as well. Yeah? Divesh, what was for Divesh story? WTF. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not worried about it. So, yeah, I'll not talk about the whores as such. So, I'm sorry, Devesh, if I didn't tell you, but I noticed that you were very uncomfortable when we had put you in the situation on that couch where you had to get up with your legendary 3-letter word, which was WTF, and till today we do remember and do recollect you with that word. Probably never got a chance to say sorry for putting you in that situation, but here I am saying sorry for that. So sorry to one of my most adorable person. No. So here's my sorry for this bubbly person. This person has been running my show quite seamlessly. I'm lying right now, but yes, she has been helping me through and through for last 2.5 years. I want to say sorry to Surbhi for all the times that the information that she got me and I spilled the beans and told the person that Surbhi is the one who's getting me the information. No, that's not going well. What should we say about her? Oh, that was the rose story that I had to tell about her. Yeah, I know why this. Yeah, I'm sorry. So here's a sorry for a bubbly person. Surbhi Seth. I know once I got really mad at her, as in, if I'm not wrong, that's the only time that I got mad at her. Every time else, her smile used to take away the anger from me. And I remember that instance of the rose missing from my office. And I knew how wrong it was on my part to be so mad at you. So in case I never got a chance to say sorry for that, here's my sorry to you. And I hope to give you that another rose to make up your day one day. Yeah, cut that one day part. So here's my sorry for Sheetal. You know, she could never feel that I trusted her. But as much as I want to say sorry to her, but I also wanted to explain her that if I never trusted her, the relationship would not have lasted so long. So in case I never got a chance to say sorry for that kind of a feeling to you, here's my sorry to you. Yeah, I know. And a list of sorries can go endlessly long, which may bore you to death. But, you know, you guys have been doing a fantastic job. You've been tolerating me for last 7 years, and you have done some amazing job. And maybe I never appreciated your job and the work that you executed so flawlessly. Sorry for that.
Sorry for telling me. Sorry if I didn't tell you.
Yeah, sorry if I didn't tell you, but I noticed.
Once you take a look at this again, you'll
Yeah.
understand. Will you be able to write something? Or
What was that?
will you be able to write something once I send all of this stuff to you?
Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. What else now?
Okay, you can go for it. You have it with you?
What's that?
Written down.
No, nothing. Okay. So ask me any question which will ignite me to start talking about it.
It all started right in the beginning, even before the hotel started,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So give me the whole story, and you can talk about times when you just wanted to be alone and
So my
speak to the parents. Okay, go.
So my 7-year journey at Sheraton Grand Bangalore at Brigade Gateway had many chapters. Many of my friends came, many of the colleagues who joined me became friends and left, and the journey continued. But there was one aspect which stayed with me, and I'm sure going to stay with me forever, are these parrots. You know, it's a very insignificant part of me that many of you would not know. But my first impression of this hotel, this complex, this job, started with these parrots who we see them every day in, day out. And that's what made me very connected to these bunch of parrots who've always been here. Have you ever seen them from a distance? They all look same. They look alike. And that's what this team was always been for me. We all look alike, we all are the same, we all are working for the same purpose, we all are continuing and excelling in what we do, and we convey that positivity around in this whole complex. And that makes it very special to me, that makes it very connected to me, and I wish to stay connected with them forever. How does it go? You know, some of those traits that we, every day is a learning. Every day is where we are learning something new. And I guess we all can learn a lot from these birds. They stay together. Have you heard the noises that they make? Sometimes it's irritating. Think about it, that they're communicating to each other. They're communicating so much that it is binding them together. It's been 7 years. Here I am taking my flight, and look at them, they're going to still be there. I guess there is nothing wrong in having a stability. There is nothing wrong in having the lifelong bond of staying together. I always remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's the sense of togetherness that we exhibit every day in, day out in this hotel. I actually got that inspiration from none other than these bunch of parrots who are always in and around us and always giving me a very positive message, very positive learning that I keep on imbibing in my day-to-day life to ensure how we can be better for the tomorrow that is waiting for us. It's a sketch with that message. So it says, I always wonder why birds stay in the same place when they can fly anywhere on the earth. Then I ask the same question.
To yourself.
It's understood that, that.
Now, you want to do this again? Talk about
That you want to, huh?
talk about this being a gift to all of them.
Yeah.
This is how I'd like to end
Yes. So, yeah, so that, so, yeah.
Just try and, like, once you start, just try and think about all the different aspects
Sure.
of these words, all the thoughts of these words that come to your mind. Just share all of them.
Yeah.
I have them. And then
So you heard about, I talked about communication, I talked about staying together, I talked about having a common purpose, talk about creating that positivity, because I guess these birds, parrots and tortoise falls under that positive characteristics of a complex as such. Somebody was telling me this, I never knew about it. Yeah. Tortoise and turtles and all are considered as a lucky.
Are there tortoises?
No, there is none. So parrots are there. So yeah, so we can talk about it. So do you want me to take that story? Let's see how it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do it. We can.
Yeah. Let's see how it comes out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you can start right from the. I'm just gonna open this.
Yeah. Please.
Is there some particular way how you do it?
You have to. I guess you have to stand and do it. Otherwise, it doesn't get that pulley. I guess.
We'll just see.
Try this. Huh? Yeah. Start. Don't worry.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is such a beautiful day.
Yeah, the sea, the sky is looking so blue and all. Yeah.
But it's gonna be in the night.
So, I'm not sure how many of you would like to know or like to hear about that, how my journey at this beautiful hotel, this beautiful complex started. I remember it was July of 2010 when I was walking for the first time into this complex, and one very weird thing happened to me. And as I was walking into this complex, I got a bird dropping on my shoulder. And when I looked up and I saw there were a couple of parrots over there. And this was in the evening, and I could see they were all coming at the dusk to all their nest. And I felt that what the hell has that happened to me? But as it's customary in our part of the world, that it is also considered to be a lucky sign. Maybe that dropping gave me that hint that taking up this job going to be a lucky one for me. And here I am today at the end of my 7-year-old long journey, sharing with you that what happened with me 7 years back. And since then, I'm been personally connected to these parrots who have been part of my life, part of my day-to-day journey, without many of you knowing that how important or how significant they were and they are till now to me. Yeah. So that's the time when my affinity towards these parrots started. And I want to all of you to understand that everybody has a gift. Everybody has a message that you can take it from them. And my message to all of you is to have that learning from these parrots, these creatures, these birds, who were always teaching me something better, something that could help me to be better, something that can be improvised, something that can make all of us what we are today. If you ask me, I look at them every day, I see them sitting together, I see them going together, I see them coming back together. What does it tell me? It tells me about the fact that no matter how our day has been, but we all come back together, we come back as a team. And that sense of team, that sense of bonding that I always saw in these parrots, made me feel that there is lots that you can achieve when you are together. Have you heard them chirping in the evening? Sometimes it's like annoying, but to some it's divine. And for me, it was a very crucial aspect which is important for our day-to-day life is to communicate. They taught me that over communication has not killed anyone, neither it will kill. So it's always important for us to keep talking to each other, to keep expressing ourselves to each other. Because at the end of the day, we are one team. We are working for the one purpose, one cause, one goal. And that's what brought us together. Their efforts to deliver always magnify when you have the whole bunch with you. And that's where exactly that they were talking and they were taking me while I was looking at them as what I can learn from them. What else did I mention about them that I...
They were your first guests.
Yeah?
Okay, that's one aspect.
Yes. So...
They were your first guests.
Yes. So before we could start the hotel, I always considered them as my first guest. They checked in before signing a registration form. They checked in without knocking the doors. They checked in without coming in a airport pickup limousine. And I always consider her as my first guest to this hotel. And I'm thankful for them for visiting this hotel as a first guest. Ever since, the hotel has been always blessed to have a long queues of guests who have been wanting to check into this hotel. Yeah, good one this.
Okay. I'm going to start it record, so speak with some drama.
Yeah. So today I'm going to tell you a story about my longest staying guest and the most favorite guest. Ever since the Sheraton was built, these guests have been with us. To be frank, even before the hotel was built, they were here. Just, where did I lost it? This is where happened.
Just continue, I think. If you make like a mistake, just
Pause.
second pause.
Yeah, okay. Ever since the Sheraton was built, these guests have been with us, following the same routine day after day. They leave 6 in the morning and they make their return just before the dark. In the middle of all chaos in their huge cement jungle, we have a home for thousands of parrots. They are all perched on the same tree through the night, but around 5:15 in the morning, they get restless and begin to move from one tree to the next. By about 6:30, all of our distinguished little guests have left for their day's work. We are talking about these beautiful parrots. We have no idea where they are gone during the day. There isn't a single one to be seen. They are just gone for the day. As soon as the dusk approach, you will see them flying back to their nighttime perch. When they come in, they aren't coming from one direction. They are coming from all over. The right of the hotel, the left of the hotel, and they all settle on one tree. Sheraton is home to our guests, the way the tree is home to the parrots, and we want our guests to come back to us same way the parrots do, again and again, night after night, day after day.
Okay. Okay, first question. When were you born? Oh, 1 second.
Check.
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 One more time.
Check, 1, 2, check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me when you were born and where you were born. Tell me a little bit about where you were born.
Okay. So I come from this beautiful state called Jammu and Kashmir. Not sure today people know that state for all the wrong reason, but it's a very, very beautiful state. It's full of heritage, full of culture, full of beautiful surrounding, and so that's the place that I've come from. That place, the city that I come from, is Jammu in Jammu and Kashmir. It's called the city of temples. It has its own character. It has its own language. It has its own background, history. So that's the place that I come from.
Tell me
Maybe.
when you were born. Anything significant about the day you were born? What did your parents imagine? I'm going.
Yeah. So I'm born in a family where my father is from an army background. My mother was a homemaker and a social servant. She taught me a lot. So if you ask me, the combination of having a father who was from an army background, which taught me about some discipline, and my mother who was very, very driven about social cause, gave me the best of the two worlds. There's something where I was learning about discipline, and there was also the other place that I was learning how to give it back to the society or give it back to the community that you are on. And one thing that I learned is nothing is small or big. Even a smaller step that you take towards your own cause gives you a great extent of satisfaction. So discipline can be of waking up on time every day. That's what something I learned, and having a friend who's from that spectrum of the society, who would never get a chance to be mingling with a different society altogether, and just making friends itself was a good giveaway. We had so many people around, and we could touch so many lives that it gives me a satisfaction. It gives me a satisfaction that I'm being a son of this particular beautiful parents who gave me such kind of an upbringing that I'm able to take it forward day in, day out. I'll share it with you that when there was a new evolution of Sheraton as a brand was happening, and many people say that you have to write a word that what are you connected to, and the word that I choose to be connected to was giving back. And this giving back was nothing but to give it back to the society, to give it back to my team, to give it back to the hotel that I'm working for, or to give it back to anybody who has been in a need of getting something. And that gave me happiness, that gave me pleasure, that gave me a satisfaction that I've always been looking for.
That's good. There are different things that happen in their life that make a person who they are. So, in your first 0 to 10 years old, do you remember any significant event in your life that gave you perspective and made you who you are? That would be like your first. There could have been more than one, but if there are more than one, tell me. But if there's one, try and think of one thing. And it could be anything. It could be something. That
No, I got a question. Got a question on that. Yeah. So in life, there are many things that you do as a child or in your childhood, which you don't realize, or you cannot relate that how important they would be in your life and at a later stage. And it was a couple of years back that I was just thinking, and I have a habit of writing, and I was just trying to do a little bit of an introspection. And one thing that came to my mind, which I felt was so relevant, that I learned so early in life, probably I don't even remember that I was learning something, and that was in the class, in the nursery, I would say. And in nursery, I remember the school name was Little Flower, where I was studying during my pre-KG. And there was a competition over there, and the competition was, I can tell you, most of you would have done, was a race where you keep a spoon in your mouth and a lemon on top of that spoon, and you have to run. And believe me, that race is not about coming first. The race is about to finish that line with keeping your lemon in the spoon, and you need to be on the other side of it. And relate that thing to your today's world, and that lemon is nothing but your values. So it's not about coming first. You can easily ignore your values, throw those values aside, and say that little do I care, and I want to be first. But I guess that little race, nobody told us that what was the significance of that race. But for me today, when I relate to it, that significance was the most important lesson of my life, that one has to keep its values, which is in the interest of everyone around you, intact before you come first. There are lots of people who just want to come first, who just want to run the race and be somewhere where they don't even belong, but in a very shallow way. They lose their values, they lose their the substance that somebody is known for. And that's where I feel that when you say that what was most important part in my first part of my life, I guess that's something was very, very important for me. No, I got it. So
I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
So tell me again, what are your values? Who contributed to them? And what are the values that's most important?
So values are like foundation of your life. Values are foundation of your professional career, and this is what your whole entire life is based on. And values are something that the initial years of your life, you're only learning to build up your values or principles. Somebody can't say that I read these values in the book and I'm making these as my values. And every lesson in life gives you a little bit of a hint that what values are important for you. I do believe there's a very, I'll give you an example right now. There are two sentences. The first sentence is that I don't want to lie because I don't want to get caught lying. There's nothing wrong in this sentence. Everybody will say, yes, it's true. But the second sentence that I will use, that I don't want to lie because lying is bad. Now that's where the value system comes into play, that I don't want to lie only because I don't want to get caught lying. If there was nobody looking at me and I can lie because nobody noted that I was lying, and not lying is my value, I guess it's a very shallow value. But values are something which you hold true even when there is nobody around you. And that's where I always feel that values are very, very crucial in setting up the course of your life, then setting up the value, the whole pace of your life, depending on what your values are. And frankly, once you build up your values, it's very difficult for you to decide and determine whether these are good values for you or the bad values for you, because you are being governed by your values. And I always feel that values are nothing but something like a habit, so it's like first man make habits and then habit makes man, and that's something that you have to understand. And I'll give you one more value that I learned out of my professional career. I always longed to have a mentor. I always used to look around people that they always had somebody or the other they used to refer to as somebody like their godfather, somebody who was like their mentor, somebody like their role model. And when I used to look around and I could never find anybody else, there were various circumstances in my career that I could never find a mentor. But this was the time where I actually learned one more part, that it's not always what you want, it's also what you can give. And this is the time when I realized that maybe I didn't have a mentor, a godfather, or a role model, but I can be a mentor, a godfather, or a role model for many others. And that's where I felt that I need to perform that role. It's not only that I want every time somebody. And I also feel, one reason why I never wanted to have a role model, because if you have a role model, you tend to become like a substandard copy of that person, and you lose your identity somewhere in the run in just trying to ape and be like your role model. And that's where the combination of two, of not being a copy of someone and to be a mentor to somebody, gave me a lot of foundation in my enduring belief of giving back, in the fact that I like giving happiness to the people. I get some pleasure in seeing people happy. I love to give people pleasant surprises. People sometimes, in my quest of surprising people do label me that I am a very secretive person, but my idea is a surprise which you cannot think about it, and that's where it goes haywire. But I personally feel that these are the things that give me a great foundation to be what I am. Now, keeping the values, that what are these values in mind, there's some basic values which we learn every day. As a child we were being taught that honesty is a right policy, but how many of us understand that what honesty is all about? And somebody says that keep smiling. Now it's something very basic that we need to keep smiling, or we need to learn how to be happy, and that's something that we always keep wondering. So for me, looking at the whole round of people around me, taking care of them, looking for their growth and development. And growth and development is not only personal, sometimes it's also about their professional, with the combination of their personal, that they need to help them to grow and help them to be a better human being than just being a good professional. That's how I... So the values that defines me, one value that I feel is a combination of many values is integrity. Integrity is something about the fact that you are loyal, you are honest, you do the right thing. And sometimes you really have to go and knock the door of this value called integrity, that what I'm doing is right or wrong. And 10 on 10, you will always get the right answer. sometimes there are certain decisions which may be good for business. They may be good for the interest of the company, but maybe it may be hurting many of those people. So you really have to go back and question your own conscience to say that whether I'm doing the right thing or not. You know, in the larger interest of that individual or that that department or that institution, is it in the interest of everyone in that ecosystem or not? And that's where I feel, you know, it comes very handy. The second one that I always look at is also about taking care. You know, it's about I care, you care, we care. That care is a very, very crucial aspect of it. That as much as you can be honest and loyal, but if you don't care, I guess it's like, you know, elegance without warmth is attitude, or, you know, it's arrogance. You know, nobody wants to have something like that. So it's important to have the fact of being care. The third one, which I firstly feel, is about loving each other. I guess in this today's world, you know, this is something very basic that we have forgotten how to love each other. You know, and love is not about being into a couple relationship or a family relationship. Love is little beyond that. We have become very conservative about our emotions, about our feelings, about the fact that we do love someone, or, you know, we do care for someone. So if you join the dots of these three values, one is about your integrity, which is your ecosystems of holding you straight, to the fact that you add certain emotions to it, which is with the fact of your love and care, I guess it makes a very beautiful outcome that will come. And you can use these, you know, values not only in your professional life, but even in your personal life, and they will get you the results. We talk a lot about teamwork, team player. I guess it's very important, but everybody's desire is to have this ideal team as a leader of that team. But something we forget in this entire scenario, that before you become a leader, what's more important for you is to learn how to be a team player. And that's where my foundations are being kept intact, that to build a team, learn to be a team player, learn to be a person who can bring the team together. In my own example, you know, I question this to the whole world, that every time when we are talking about these management programs or leadership program, if you ask somebody in a room and ask him that, would you like to be a leader, I can bet on it that there will be 100% participation where the people will say that I want to be a leader. Again, not to challenge what people are teaching about management, but it's all about leadership, which becomes very important. And why it becomes important, and where I'm going to and fro between the leadership and team, that before you become a leader, what's more important for you is to learn how to be a team player. And my success formula of building a strong team is that I'm the first person who they can bank on as a team player. In spite of the fact that I may be leading that group of or a bundle of people, and they may look at me as a leader, but for them to break that ice, to start treating me like a team player and not like a leader, is the biggest step that you can build a strong team. Teams are always built on one very strong foundation that's called trust, and you can't just get that trust staying out of that circle. You have to be part of that circle, part of that community, to gain and to earn that trust. And that's where the team works for me. Come and see, you know, the team that I've been working, you know, in my whole career. It will be difficult for you to differentiate between me and my team. I will not be a person who will be standing out and you will be able to say, oh, you know, I can make out that that's the leader and the remaining is the team. I guess that does give you a little bit of a high initially, that, oh, I am the leader and look at my following team. But frankly, once you are as part of the team, the kind of strength, the kind of power that you will feel, that you will be able to exchange among yourself, would be something fantastic, and it will get addicted. You know, what we are talking about is also a small article that I actually wrote, and I have this habit of scribbling down certain things, whatever inspires me. And there was an article that I wrote, and I titled it with something which is called "Leading from Behind." In today's world, a leader is considered to be a person who's right in the front and fighting the battle off, and reaching the all the goalpost and say that I am the one who have reached. And I'll go back to the fact that I taught you in the beginning, is the fact that I come from an army background where you do always feel that you have to win the battle, you have to fight your wars, but at the same time you'll always remember that the top notch of the army are people who are actually sitting back and guiding the entire forces together to go in the same direction. And that's where it is very important, because if they don't believe in those people who are facing the situation, I don't think so they will ever be able to win the battle or win any of the war. And that's where I come from, this background, that I believe in empowering the team to an extent that they start believing that whatever the results are there is an effort and the result of the teamwork that we all did. And that's where it is very, very crucial that setting up a goal is not about giving a goal. Please understand, there's a difference between setting up a goal and giving a goal, because when you set the goal, it's a unanimous choice of the group of that team that's sitting together to decide that this is what we want to achieve, rather than a fact that somebody comes from an outside and say this is what we want to achieve. There's a very fine difference, and if you ask me, it's a huge difference between the two. And once you have the consensus of the team, those goals, which may be a common goal for all, also happens to be a personal goal of each and every team member who's there. And that's what it ignites and creates the synergy in where 1 + 1 always become a 3. And that's the power of a teamwork that can deliver you the results which are beyond what you could have expected. It's about giving them the freedom. It's about telling them what needs to be done and not telling them how it needs to be done. And you will see the results will follow once you have an open-end approach like this. And that's what the approach when I talk about is that you are leading the team from behind, not shying away that you are no longer a leader or you are no longer going to be a person who will take the blunt if something goes wrong. But the kind of empowerment you're giving them to take certain decisions, to be responsible of certain decisions, will give them the best of their potential to come out. I'll give you an example of, so I'll break it up to help you understand. Now, it's not about that I don't have a role model. I do get inspired by many people, but narrowing my role model to one person is what I don't like to do. There's one more thing that I keep doing in my day-to-day life, that as much as I look for good things in people, I also make a double note of those things that a person is not doing good, because it's very important for you not to commit those mistakes. And that's what and coming back to the part that I'm as much as I'm very inspired with one of those statements that Steve Jobs gave, which was about stay hungry and stay foolish, but you don't believe that something which he never mentioned but was most important to what he contributed, and that's about the App Store. If you think about it, there are millions of apps which are there in the App Store, not a single app which has been made by Steve Jobs. Can you believe that to the success of his own company, the success of those individual app makers was so important that he made an ecosystem which is successful for not only for him, but for hundreds of thousands of people around. We have never thought about this App Store. We consider it to be a property of Apple. But think about it. There are so many success stories within a success story that's about App Store. And that gives you the fact that to be successful, you have to breed success. You have to empower people. You have to give them the platform where they can do things better. And look about it, whether it was a small game which was as, primitive as, those olden days of Ataris and all, which was Angry Bird, was not built by Steve Jobs. But you could find it on the App Store. And think about it, and this is where the innovation part comes in. Most of the people know Steve Jobs for his innovation of making an Apple phone. But do you know that what makes Apple phone or any phone in today's scenario, the smartphone, so powerful is because of the success of so many millions of these apps that's been developed every day. They say there are more stars or more apps in the world than there are stars in the sky. From where that came in? I don't think so. There are hardly any that Steve Jobs can pinpoint and say that this app belongs to me. So that's what I look at it, and that's probably you will have never heard him talking about But I feel that the success of his was somewhere hidden in this aspect, which people, I don't know, I have never heard anybody talking about App Store ever.
That's true. It's very true. That's a very strong point.
Yeah. You do read these articles that I have scribbled it down about searching a leader in you, you'll get most of my values there, what I have written. Then there's an article that I have written, the heading of that article is actually moral bankruptcy is worse than financial bankruptcy, which talks about the value system. Which talks about the fact that if somebody is not working or they don't want to work, what's the difference between the two? I don't want to work is the person who says that, I don't feel like working. There's not enough inspiration and aspiration in the work that I want to do. And somebody says, I don't know how to do, is a training issue. Now, training issues you can sort very easily, but an attitude-related reluctancy in doing work is difficult to handle. And that's where they say that your own value system aligned with the company value system will give you superlative results. But if there is if there's a mismatch, there's nothing wrong. Well, believe me, as in the value system of Sheraton may not align with somebody else's value system. But if somebody from here goes and say that no, I want to superimpose the values that I have over here, I guess there will be a perfect mismatch, and they may fall apart. Gratitude, if you ask me, is very, very core of the human, race, I would say. And when I say it may sound a little philosophical, but being thankful of everything that's around you is very important. And waiting for thanking someone and waiting for that event to happen so that I can say thank, I guess it's again a missed opportunity. And the sense of gratitude starts from the day you are born. As in the sense of gratitude that today I have for my family after having my own daughter has only multiplied. It doesn't mean that I never had a gratitude for them of whatever they brought me to a level where I am today, but it keeps on multiplying. As in the fact that I worked in this hotel, I was thankful for giving me an opportunity to work, but as I was growing, as the results were coming, I was still thankful to everyone around me who was contributing toward the success of each one, be it the ownership, be the company, be the associates. Be my family who was supporting me and was by my side to ensure that I could indulge into certain endeavors in my life. Because if it was not them, I guess it would have I would have come crashing like a pack of cards. And being thankful to all this is very, very crucial and important in your life. So again. Being genuine is equally important. I'll give you, it may be a little irrelevant on it, but my other thought process is there are two words in our vocabulary which have lost its meaning. And one is thank you and the other one is sorry.